October 14th, 2013, 3:15 p.m. 12-year-old Jacob Evans walked out of Millfield Elementary just like he had hundreds of times before. He shouldered his blue backpack and began the familiar 15-minute walk home. But somewhere between those school gates and his family's front door, Jacob Evans simply vanished. No screams, no struggle, no witnesses to what happened next, just empty sidewalks and a growing sense of dread as the hours ticked by and Jacob never came home. What happened to Jacob Evans? Why did one of the most extensive searches in the county's history turn up nothing but questions? And why does this quiet town of Millfield seem determined to keep its secrets buried? This is the story of a disappearance that shattered a community and the mystery that remains unsolved 11 years later. Jacob Michael Evans was everything you'd expect from a typical 12-year-old boy in 2013. He loved playing soccer, spent hours on his Xbox, and had that infectious laugh his teachers still remember. His parents described him as responsible beyond his years, the kind of kid who always called if he was going to be late. Jacob was our steady one, his mother Sarah told reporters. If Jacob said he'd be home by 4, he'd be walking through our door at 3:58. But Millfield, Pennsylvania, isn't just any ordinary town. Population 9,847, nestled in a valley surrounded by dense woods and abandoned railway lines. On the surface, it's the kind of place where everyone knows everyone. But scratch beneath Millfield's peaceful facade, and you'll find something else entirely. Longtime residents whisper about things that don't quite add up. Strange sounds from the woods at night, pets that vanish without a trace. And if you dig into local newspaper archives, you'll find references to an unsolved crime from 1987, a case the police seem reluctant to discuss. Margaret Shen, a 43-year resident, put it this way: "We all love this town, but we know it has moods." Jacob disappeared on one of those days. Jacob had made that same walk from school hundreds of times. His route was predictable, well-lit, through familiar neighborhoods. That sense of safety is exactly what made his disappearance so earth-shattering. October 14th, 2013. A crisp autumn Monday that started like any other school day. Security footage shows Jacob leaving through the main doors at exactly 3:17 p.m. He's wearing his favorite red hoodie, dark jeans, and those light-up sneakers he'd begged his parents to buy. His blue backpack with the soccer ball keychain is slung over his shoulder. Jacob stops to talk to classmate Amanda Morrison. He asked if I wanted to come over and play video games later that week. Amanda recalls. I said maybe, and he said cool, just text me. Then he headed toward Old Mill Road like always. I watched him go, just being Jacob. Amanda was the last person who definitively saw Jacob Evans alive. Eleanor Watts, 74, was watering her garden when she noticed a boy walking alone down Old Mill Road. She later identified this boy as Jacob, though she admitted she wasn't wearing her glasses and only saw him from behind. This places Jacob about halfway along his usual route home. 4:00 p.m., the first phone call. Sarah Evans tried calling Jacob's cell phone. It went straight to voicemail. She called again at 4:15, then 4:30. Each call went to voicemail. 4:45 p.m., Michael Evans arrived home to find Sarah pacing. Together they walked Jacob's usual route, calling his name, checking the small park where he sometimes played basketball. They found nothing. 6:00 p.m. Word spread quickly. Within an hour, 15 neighbors had gathered at the Evans house, organizing into search teams. Some walked the streets, others drove through neighborhoods. Teenagers on bikes covered ground faster than adults on foot. After 4 hours with no sign of Jacob, Michael dialed 911. I'd like to report a missing child, my son Jacob. He should have been home 3.5 hours ago. Police brought in search dogs. The fire department arrived with spotlights. Over 60 volunteers joined the search. The dogs picked up Jacob's scent at the school, followed it down his usual route, and then nothing. At a point on Old Mill Road, near where Eleanor claimed to see him, the scent trail simply ended. 2 days later, volunteer searcher David Kim made a chilling discovery near an abandoned railway bridge about a mile from Jacob's usual route. Jacob's backpack was partially hidden under fallen leaves. His light-up sneakers were placed neatly side by side 20 feet away. The shoes weren't scattered like they'd been dropped. David later told reporters they were placed carefully, like someone had taken them off and set them down gently. The backpack contained Jacob's school supplies, house key, and half-eaten granola bar. His cell phone was inside, powered off. There were no signs of struggle, no indication of violence, but Jacob himself remained missing, and these discoveries only deepened the mystery. The investigation into Jacob Evans' disappearance would eventually involve the FBI, state police, and multiple private investigators, but from the beginning the case was plagued by problems that would haunt investigators for years. Despite finding Jacob's belongings, forensic analysis yielded virtually nothing. The backpack had been exposed to weather, destroying potential fingerprints, or the shoes were clean, too clean, according to investigators, given they should have shown traces of Jacob's walk that day. It was like someone had sanitized everything, explained Detective Maria Santos, who led the initial investigation. 3 different people reported seeing a suspicious man near the elementary school and along Jacob's route that afternoon, but their descriptions varied wildly. Tall and thin, short and heavyset, average height with a beard. Were these 3 different men, or were witnesses letting fear fill in details that weren't really there? Perhaps most maddening was the surveillance camera situation. Old Mill Road had exactly 1 security camera, mounted on Patterson's hardware store, positioned to capture almost the entire street where Jacob walked. On any other day, that camera would have provided definitive proof of Jacob's movements. But on October 14, 2013, the camera wasn't working. It had functioned perfectly the day before and resumed working the day after, but for that crucial 24 hours it recorded nothing but static. "I still lose sleep over that camera," store owner Bill Patterson admitted. "We'd never had a problem before or since. But the one day when a recording might have solved everything, nothing." Frustrated by slow progress, the Evans family hired private investigator David Park. Park's investigation uncovered disturbing patterns police had missed. 4 other children had gone missing under similar circumstances within 50 miles of Millfield over the previous 15 years. Someone was hunting in this area, Park concluded. Whether they were successful with Jacob or not, someone with bad intentions was operating in this region, and Jacob Evans walked into their path. But even Park's thorough investigation couldn't answer the fundamental question. What happened to Jacob Evans between 3:30 p.m. on October 14th and whenever his belongings were placed near that railway bridge?